My favorite gear company has done it again, Peak Design, and this year's travel line. This multi-part series is going to do a deep dive into the product, the 45-liter backpack, the various cubes and pouches, to see whether it's worth it. As a photographer, as a traveler, does it meet your needs? Does it meet my needs? This is my honest review of the travel line, so let's jump in. Today we're putting the travel line to the test in the field. Back at home now after 2 days, 1 flight, 1 new city. So taking this 45-liter backpack on a real spin, and that was my goal. I just wanted to see how this bag would perform in real life scenarios as opposed to just fictitiously talking about it as if I knew. Now I know. Let's do this as a pros and cons closeout. The first pro is how effortless it was to pack this bag. With the camera cube, the packing cubes, shoe pouch, and all the other different pouches that I had with me, it was easy. I just kind of threw it all in. I even threw my drone, and it was easy peasy. As I was going in and out of the hotel, it was nice that I could just open up the back, see everything that I need to. I knew exactly where stuff was, and so to unload the bag was super easy, and when I needed to repack to leave the hotel, it was just drag and drop. The second pro is just how well it handles the weight. I never had to use my waist strap, but it felt like on my back, for the most part, it felt very comfortable. The newly designed shoulder straps work really well. It's got the nice pivot, so it handles and spreads the weight really well. So yeah, never really felt too uncomfortable with that much weight on me. The third pro, I have to say the tech pouch is pretty damn awesome. So I used it as kind of prescribed, and I had it out for the airport, I had it out on the plane, and it was convenient. I just threw it on the front pouch of the seat in front of me, and I had access to all my stuff. I knew exactly where everything was at all times. And an added bonus is that you never run into a situation where, oh, where's my phone? Is it in the pocket? Double checking the front pocket before you deplane. I've lost a few things in my time because I've done that. So it was nice to have it all there. My passport was always there, my boarding pass, just really, really convenient. The fourth pro, the wash pouch was actually really good. The hanger just worked really well. It was nice to have access to everything that I needed to. It didn't dangle down too low. Now, compared to the Sea to Summit that I reviewed in combination with this was nice and tight with the hook itself. I could see everything in front of me. It was always at kind of eye level with the hotel that we stayed at. It was the perfect way to hang all my toiletries. Fifth pro, the small camera cube worked exactly the way I wanted to. The couple times I did swing the bag over to my familiar side to grab my Micro Four Thirds camera to shoot video and stills, it was pretty easy to do. Pretty much exactly what I expected because it works almost the same way as my 30-liter backpack that I used to travel with. So no complaints about side access. The small camera cube just works as you'd expect it to work. The sixth pro is the sunglass pouch. Really easy and convenient to use. It's just always there. I probably wouldn't put anything else in there, but it's top access. I just grab my stuff and go. Oh, another pro is that it fits water bottles really easily. This is a small one that fits on the side, but had no issues with water bottles. And of course, the GorillaPod tripod that I use for vlogging fits in like a glove and didn't need any straps to keep it in. Also, during the day when I was traveling, I loved the fact that I could convert this, almost transform this into a smaller bag. So I basically unloaded some of the things I didn't need for city exploration. I clipped these 2 buttons down. It was down to 30 liters. It was great as a day use backpack, almost 2 bags in one. Another pro is that I almost had a panic moment as I was packing up and I realized, where am I gonna put my dirty clothes? I didn't bring my dirty clothes bag. And then I realized, oh shit, of course, the packing cube has its own dirty clothes compartment. So all I did was I opened it up, threw in my underwear and socks, and I was good to go. Another pro for this bag is that it's completely incognito. The black especially, nobody can tell that this is a camera bag. Nobody can really tell that it's Peak Design. It just looks like any other kind of travel bag that's out there. Last pro, I thought that the front compartment was really convenient to access all the things. I leave all of my important gear at the top so that I don't need to fully open it like a book to get to the things that I need. So chapstick, my microphones, business cards, memory cards, I can use the top pockets for that. And I use the trick that Peak Design showed us, which is to keep the zippers open. And so that once I open the top just a little, so I probably open it just this much, and I put my hand down there and I know exactly kind of where my stuff is, and I grab it out and I can start using it. So that was really convenient and well designed. Okay, now on to the harder part, which is to come up with cons. And as you saw kind of in the middle when I made my way to Boston, there are a couple things that I pointed out, and I'll talk about those cons again. So the first con is really in the back, and this I can't really explain too well, but because I had a lot of stuff in the backpack, and I guess there was a lot of things pushing outwards, I also had my 13-inch MacBook Pro in the back. For some reason, when I was wearing the back, it almost felt like the laptop was pushing against the midsection of my back. It wasn't the kind of like serious digging into the back. It just felt like, oh, there's something flat against my back. It's not, you know, the contour of how my back is curved. So there was some pressure back there, not serious pressure, but it was definitely there and noticeable for me to even talk about it. The second con is that I did feel like with the back here as well, that sometimes the waist straps did come out. They would just kind of pop open. Now, one kind of hack that I learned is that really just have it in this configuration, right? So instead of this being fully open, fold both in and make sure that the waist strap is tucked underneath. And so the wraparound part of the fabric, to make sure this goes underneath so that it captures and holds onto the waist strap. Another thing that's kind of a con, but a pro in that, like with this second version of the capture clip, I was able to fold this in really with no issues, but it is a little bit bulky. So I can stuff it in there, but it's a bit bulky, and it kind of prevents this magnet here from closing really well just because it's thick at this part of the backpack. I don't know if I would ever check in this bag, so I'm not really that concerned. It was nice, I guess, when I was putting the bag under the seat that I could do this so that the straps weren't flying around crazy, but something I learned. Another con I talked about was really the position of this handle up here. I think because of the weight distribution of the bag, a lot of the weight's gonna be on the front side. You're gonna have your camera stuff on one side, or really the whole bottom side. You got a whole bunch of other stuff in the front compartment here. The weight is coming in this way. It's a bit awkward. So you see, like when you hold it, the bag is always on an angle. So when I was sitting down in the plane and trying to pull the bag out from under the seat, it was weird because it was trying to go this way, but I really wanted the bag to be just straight up. The other thing I feel like with the strap design is that it's not really loose, and so my fingers often touch the top part here. There's not a lot of space between my knuckles and the back of the backpack, especially for those that have really big hands. You're gonna hit it all the time. So another con is, I know a lot of you guys have been talking about zippers, YKK versus, I think it's the Zoom zippers, and a lot of people complaining that the zippers aren't gonna be strong enough. My complaint is more this con about these zippers here. I love the zippers on the backside. These are big loops, but what they've done is they've gone with this zipper here, and this zipper is to open up the side access of the backpack, and they also use the exact same zipper to open up the front. What I don't like about these zippers is that the weird thing is that they're not big enough to really put your finger in. Like if you wanted to open up use the zipper, you wouldn't really ever use your index finger in there. Your pinky could, no, not even. It's just awkward. And plus the way that they did their loop is kind of like this. It is just a little awkward to hold. Another con, which I'm not sure if this is gonna really affect you much, is that something that most people might not have noticed, that with the side access, there's only one zipper. On the everyday backpack, there are two zippers, one for each side. So you can unzip in either direction, as opposed to here, it always ends up at the top, as in the closed position, and you have to pull it down to open it. So another con is that it doesn't exactly fit that well, and I'm sure you're not surprised, under the seat of a plane. So I was flying a smaller Embraer plane. It sticks out quite a bit. In economy class, the backpack sticks quite far out, so you're really not gonna have any leg room at all. In business, it works a little bit better where you can kind of fit your feet to the left or to the right, depending on kind of where you shift it under the seat. If you're sitting in a two-seater and there's nobody beside you, you can turn it around and that works. Again, you're losing out on leg room if you need to stretch in under the seat in front of you. It also doesn't work too well if your next door neighbor has a lot of stuff as well. So really the best place to put this would be in the overhead, which is kind of annoying. I usually like this under my seat. It is doable, but it may not be the best configuration, and the flight attendant might end up telling you to move the bag in the overhead. I talked about this earlier. You see how my tendency is to grab the bag this way because it's upright now. I want to grab it. I have to do it this way. And the material itself is a little bit, not slippery, but it doesn't have a lot of traction on it. Yes, you can hold it this way, which is nice at the airport, I guess, if you want to kind of access your passport like this. This is basically how I did it at the airport. But it feels weird that there's no handle at the top. I kind of wish there was a handle here. It's inconsistent because there's a handle here on the wash pouch, which I kind of like. I kind of wish there were two. Maybe it's about the cleanness of design, but it does feel missing, and that's something that kind of annoyed me. And like I said, the issue is that if you forget that your zippers are not fully closed, or this main zipper isn't fully closed, that if you go ahead and do this, stuff is gonna start falling out. Last con that I can think of, it really relates to the straps. So if you look at the shoulder straps here, they've built in this nice way to secure the excess strap with this mechanism, really simple plastic, and you kind of close it in. So with my body size, this is the configuration that I have, and there's always this kind of loose fabric here. There's no way to kind of lock it down, so you kind of end up with this going on. Okay, I've rambled on for too long as usual, but I hope that gave you a real good insight into just the real life usage of this backpack. And that's really the purpose of this playlist of videos. This series was meant to be a real life look at me using the backpack as a legit traveler, as somebody that uses a lot of camera gear as well. Hopefully this honest review is what you guys were looking for. I'm sure there are other questions that I haven't covered, so as usual, make sure you drop a comment down below for anything that you still are wondering about. Thank you for all your support. Make sure you hit that bell to get notified of the next video. Anyways, this is Will from Going Awesome Places, and I'll see you guys next time.